my name is Sam and thanks for checking out this video. Make sure to hit the subscribe button down below, give the video a thumbs up, and turn on the little bell notification so you find out when my videos go up. I think this is actually the first time I've done a wrap-up video for the month where I'm actually able to hold all the books at once. And with that being said, I didn't read as many books this month as I normally do. Like, I normally read like 25 to 30. But I had lots of traveling, and quite a few of them were bigger books. So, you know, I'm still happy. I finished 19, I think, and then I DNF'd 1. So 20 is still a really good number. It's just not normal. That's quite low for me. So I gotta speed it up in May, I think. I feel like I'm just annoyed that I read so few in the month that I bought literally triple that amount of books. So it's just like a never-ending pit that I'm in now. So the books that I read this month were Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. This was a reread. Akata Witch by Nnedi Okorafor. I apologize, I'm never going to say that right. I also read Half Bad by Sally Green. Fairest by Marissa Meyer as a reread. The Black Witch by Laurie Forrest as a reread. A Dash of Sugar by, I want to say N. Mariano, but I can't remember for sure. Ivy Aberdeen's Letter to the World by Ashley Herring Blake. The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire by J.K. Rowling as a reread. Obsidio by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Rose Under Fire by Elizabeth Wine. The Tattooist of Auschwitz by Heather Morris as an e-arc. Crest by Marissa Meyer as a reread. The Diabolic by S.J. Kincaid. I'm really bad at authors' names if you can't tell. The Alchemist by Michael Scott. Revolution by Jennifer Donnelly, Dreamland Burning by Jennifer Latham, and Unkindness of Magicians by Kat Howard, Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins as a reread, and finally, The Magicians by Lev Grossman. Like I do every month, I like to highlight one that was really, really good, like my favorite book, one that really disappointed me, and one that I was surprised, either good or bad surprised by. And as always, I don't include DNFs when I give like ratings or like to be good or bad, because I didn't finish it, so it didn't work for me in some capacity, so I don't think it's fair for me to judge it that way, so I don't include it in this. My favorite books of the month are kind of a total toss-up. I couldn't pick between these two, and once again, as always, they're both important in their own way, and they both deal with different things, and so I want to give a shout out to both of them. The first one being Ivy Aberdeen's Letter to the World by Ashley Herring Blake. I actually originally rented this through my library, finished it, bawled in like the last, probably 2/3 of this book, really. And when I was in Edmonton, picked up my own copy at the bookstore and returned the book to the library. So now I have my own, partially just because of this cover is beautiful. I've also been on this massive middle grade binge, but I also think it does a really wonderful job of dealing with LGBT confusion, along with just like family drama. I find a lot of books that deal with like identity can be, in middle grade especially, can be like, it focuses really heavily on just like sorting out your feelings, but like in reality, we don't tend to get to separate that from all of the chaos in our lives that can be related and unrelated. So her going through middle school and having her home destroyed and her family totally upheaved at the same time, whilst also having someone like kind of, but not really, like blackmail her about her sexuality while she's still trying to figure it out, was just so interesting. And I love that she had all of these different, she wasn't like the only lesbian character. She had these role models, and, you know, she's seen how they had gone through things and figured things out. So she had this support system inside her family and outside of her family, but her family also had a lot of different problems. So it was just so sweet and so amazing. And like I said, I bawled, and I just want to protect this child from the world. And I loved it. I would highly, highly recommend it, especially with Pride Month coming up. But let's be straight, we should always be reading books with LGBT diversity, racial diversity, religious diversity, all that stuff. And kind of along that same line, I also am madly in love with the book Dreamland Burning by Jennifer Latham. This is one of the best books that I think I've really ever read about with that talks about race issues. And I feel like I loved it. It talks about the important issues. And I've read books where I've read it because I know it talks about that important issue, and I feel like it's important for me, who is someone who sees straight and white in a first world country, should be required to read it to understand. Other people, I can call myself an ally, but you still need to understand who the people that you want to support. So there's books like that where I'm like, this is important, and then you read it and you're like, I'm so happy that there's this representation out there, but maybe story-wise, it just didn't do anything for you. This did everything for me. It had everything I loved. The issue of being passing white was brought up several times in this book, like it is in a lot of books that talk about African-American history in the United States, but it also included Indigenous characters, which I really have never ever read a book about that in YA, so it was really, really floored and so surprised and so happy when I realized that, and I think the representation with every everyone was just really good. You had the good and the bad on really every side. And then you also had 2 timelines. I'm a total sucker for historical fictions with 2 timelines. Both the timelines were so well done. They could have, like, honestly been their own book to me. I didn't really like one over the other. I was just so excited to, like, get to the next chapter, no matter what chapter I was at, because I knew that we were going to switch back to the other timeline. And I'm like, oh, I want to know what's going on here. And it was just so good. I would really highly recommend it. I think my least favorite book of the month, and it wasn't necessarily a bad book, I think I still gave it like a 3 out of 5 stars, was Half Bad by Sally Green. It was just a very awkward-y book for my reading styles. It is a very distinct kind of on its own thing where the main character is telling you things that are happening rather than like showing you kind of stuff. And it was just a little bit weird, and like there were several parts that were really difficult to read. Like there's like abuse based on like essentially like race, and like you read about it as that character is being like abused and like cut into. It was just I just had a hard time reading it, so I didn't really totally love that book. I am going to continue the series. I really liked the politics that I got into and the topics that I got into and the evaluations it was into. And I mean, sometimes you do need to read books where, you know, you feel the abuse rather than being like shown from an outsider's perspective. Sometimes that has more of an impact. So I am going to read the rest of the books, and I am going to keep reading Sally Green's her new book, The Smoke Thieves. I think the book that surprised me the most was Obsidio by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, partially because this is the 3rd and final book in a trilogy series. If you read YA, you will notice a trend that authors are not great at wrapping up trilogies. The 3rd one is always just like a very like, oh, we went through all that and that's how we're ending it. Not with this one. Obsidio was such a solid conclusion. Every single book just got better and better. This didn't give me the same book hangover the way Gemini did, simply because this is the wrap-up to the whole story, but loved it. It was so good, and we get to meet all of our favorite characters again, and they're still in space, and every single time I get so into this book that I forget that the beginning is like Katie and Ezra talking, like this is how it happened, and then I forget through the whole book that I'm like, oh my god, what if Katie doesn't make it? And then I get to the end, like, that's literally not possible. You couldn't have not, she's there at the end, like, oh, I don't know if it's just, I don't think it's really because of the length. I think I just get really into the book. Plus, the designs are super cool. And I will continuously reread this series. The series has changed my opinion on books with 2 authors on it. And I'm going to keep my eye on Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff as authors on themselves, but I know they're also already writing or have already written and sent in the draft for another series together. And as always, I wanted to throw in some fun, sometimes sarcastic, sometimes actually legitimately true lessons, morals, things that I thought of whilst reading some of these books and wanted to share with the world. Children of Blood and Bone taught me that if I ever plan on becoming a power-hungry dictator dude, stripping people of powers and murdering other people, don't do that, because it never ends well. It's going to backfire on you, man. It always does. Like, Exhibit A. Also, I want more books with, like, stadium pirate battleships in them. Like, that was hella cool. I am also, like, 100% sure Akata Witch, despite being written many years ago, prepared and foreshadowed me for the arrest of the Golden State Killer. Yeah, serial killing here, man. Dreamland Burning, Rose Under Fire, The Tattooist of Auschwitz, Black Witch, and Half Bad taught me, don't be racist, man. That's not cool. Fairest and the Wicked Deep taught me that I'm fairly certain if I was a character in a book, I would be a villain. I'm, like, really obsessed with villains and the dark people. I don't know why. Like, if I was in Star Wars, I might join the dark side. I mean, I don't like red, and their lightsabers are red, so that's kind of a deterrent, but I mean, I like the stories, man. Obsidio just reiterated my faith that evil, murdery corporations are bad. Ready Player One really nailed that in the other month, but I feel like this one did a really good job of like taking it to the next level, pulling like a genocide. Really emphasizes the point that that's bad. Ivy Aberdeen's Letter to the World taught me that I will fight to the death to defend some fictional characters. Like, I as a human being would like throw my body in front of a bullet for someone like Ivy Aberdeen. The Wicked Deep made me realize it has been far too many months since I watched Hocus Pocus, so I need to rewatch Hocus Pocus. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire just reminded me Snape is a garbage human being, or garbage wizard, or whatever he is. Also, I forgot how different this book was from the movie, and I think I like the book better than the movie. Crest just helped me realize that, despite what I constantly say, I'm never tired of retellings. I love a good retelling, it's just gotta be a retelling, and it's gotta be good. The Diabolic and Unkindness of Magician taught me, don't be evil. And don't be evil at the expense of your family, man, because once again, that's going to come around and bite you, man. Like, also, I feel like The Diabolic gave me the feeling that I was supposed to get from a book like The Three Dark Crowns, where everyone was like, no, man, like, just push to the end. The ending's just really good. Because I read the ending of Three Dark Crowns and was just like, man, I don't care anymore. But this book, you could have, like, not liked the rest of the book and still gotten to the last third, where everyone betrays everyone and everyone gets killed. And that's what I imagine everyone associates with Three Dark Crowns that liked it. So that helped me there. The Alchemist by Michael Scott made me realize how boring my childhood was. Like, we had family drama, but I was never discovered to be the chosen one with auras and found another world. And Unkindness of Magicians wanted me to pass along the message of, don't ever sacrifice your children for your own self-worth, especially like actually sacrificing them to benefit your magical system, because she's gonna come back with a vengeance, and oh my god, are you in trouble, man. Catching Fire helped me remember that I have never been Team Gale. I don't know why. Always Team PETA. Never Team Gale. After DNFing the Magicians, I wanted to pass along the lesson/message of, don't write fantasy magic books where the first 200 pages are super boring, because I won't read them. The Tattooist of Auschwitz and Rose Under Fire just helped me remember, Nazis are bad. Just remember that. We need to continuously remember that. The world has this annoying habit of continuously repeating history. Just remember that Nazis are bad. Revolution just reminded me how frustrated I am that we still don't have time travel yet. I have so many places and time periods that I want to go to. I've got like a forever running list. Why don't we have the ability to do it yet, science? Stop trying to cure every other disease in the world. Give me time travel. And finally, A Dash of Sugar helped me evaluate if my family's magic was stooped in something that we did, it would have to be with reading and or hockey, the knowledge and or doing of those actions. I would be so beyond powerful, but as we learned this month, I won't go crazy dictatory and steal other people's powers. I won't sacrifice my children or other people's children for my power benefit, and Nazis are bad. So those are all the books that I read this month. Let me know in the comment section down below if you read any of these and what you thought of them. And also let me know what you read this month. I'd love to hear if there's a really, really good book that you want to pass along. Make sure to check the description box down below as well. I will link all of the books to their Goodreads pages, as well as link all of my social media. If you follow me, I will follow you